Today is October 16, 2024. My name is Rob Carr of Kalamazoo Right to Life. And this is Pro-Life Week. Well, two things today, maybe just one thing, because I want to talk about politics and its relationship to the issue of abortion. You know, we have been inundated, at least I have been, with Kamala Harris commercials, whether it's on my phone or on TV. And a lot of the messages do deal with abortion. And I see these messages on TV all the time. Maybe this is more of these Slotkin campaign messages where there'll be a person coming on and it's a woman who says, my husband and I really wanted to have a child. And then we got pregnant, and then something went wrong. And now, whether it's Mike Rogers or Donald Trump, they want to deny me the right to end that pregnancy because I was going to die. It's always these hard cases, these commercials. And let's face it, how often are these hard cases really the majority of abortion cases? I mean, maybe you're going to have 2 or 3% of all abortions in this country are these hard, gut-wrenching cases where the woman's life is at risk, or if it's been a rape or an incest. 95, 97% of all abortions are done for the convenience of the mother. It's not for the hard cases. But they put these gut-wrenching cases on to sway the voters by making them think, yeah, Donald Trump, Mike Rogers, they're evil, heartless people because they don't want to help a woman in a time of crisis. And that is just not true. But going back to Kamala Harris, a lot of her messages will say that Donald Trump is lying when he says that he's not going to push or vote for or sign a national abortion ban. Well, let's go back and let's look at this issue rationally. First off, the Dobbs decision took abortion out of the hands of the federal government, returned it to the states and said, okay, state governments, you decide. Or the citizens of a particular state. Michigan had a Proposal 3, we lost. Abortion is enshrined in our state constitution. It lost in Ohio about a year and a half ago. So the voters of states have been making decisions, whether it's our elected officials or the citizenry through a state referendum. But Trump has said, I am not going to get involved from the federal level in the abortion issue, the abortion policies. We're going to leave it to the states. And he did say just maybe less than a month ago that if Congress were to pass a national abortion ban, he would veto it. So let's think now, what kind of an abortion law might even pass in Congress? Well, first of all, it's never going to happen for two reasons. One is it would never be approved by the Republican majority. And two, it would be filibustered in the U.S. Senate by Democrats. And the second reason alone is the fact it's not going to get anywhere because the Democrats, even though they claim to be wanting to abolish the filibuster, if the Republicans take the Senate, the Democrats will be filibustering every single bill to make sure Donald Trump doesn't get anything passed. I mean, let's be real. Trump derangement syndrome has afflicted the Democratic Party and a lot of other folks. And they just do not want Trump to succeed. And the filibuster will be alive and well if Trump wins the White House. So now let's talk about what kind of a national abortion ban might the Republicans even be in favor of? Because we already talked about the filibuster is going to kill it, but what kind of a bill would the Republicans advance that would appeal to Democrats not to filibuster in the Senate? So are they going to propose an abortion ban like after viability, after the 24th week? Basically restoring Roe v. Wade. Of course, the Republicans are not going to advance that because the Republicans, at least theoretically, is the pro-life party. So maybe the Republicans are going to say, well, gee, in the Dobbs decision, the Mississippi law said 15 weeks. Maybe we should advance a national abortion ban at 15 weeks. Well, the Republican Party is not going to approve that at all, even though some Republican senators might favor it. It's not going to pass because the rank and file members of the Republican House would never approve a 15-week ban because it doesn't help. It doesn't save anybody. No, 95% of all abortions are performed in the first trimester. So and that's 12 weeks or 13 weeks. So if you're looking at a 15-week abortion ban, it's after the 95% of all babies have already been aborted. So that is not going to pass. And if the national abortion ban was at 6 weeks, like a national heartbeat law, it's not going to pass because the Democrats would filibuster the bill. And Trump's already said he's not in favor of heartbeat legislation. He would probably veto it too. He thinks it's too early in a pregnancy. So there is not going to be a national abortion ban. And the Harris campaign is lying through their teeth when they're saying that Trump's going to sign it. It's not going to happen. Now, back to Michigan. I've talked before about these hard cases that the Slackton campaign is advancing. It's just not true. It's just not true. Most pro-life laws are even in the very red states have exceptions for rape and incest or for grave medical emergencies. And then the whole issue in Michigan is we don't have, after Proposal 3, we don't have the opportunity or the ability to block restrictions on abortion. We lost that argument 2 years ago with Proposal 3. Clinics are not going to be inspected anymore. They're not, the safety and health standards are not going to apply. Clinics don't even have to do any reporting to let the state health departments know how many abortions were performed, how many women had complications and had to be spirited from Planned Parenthood clinics over to Bronson Hospital or some other hospital. That reporting doesn't have to take effect anymore. So we're not even going to know how many abortions are performed in Michigan anymore. They've now advanced a bill that you don't need doctors to perform abortions. MDs, you don't need doctors. It could be somebody else. Now, the only area that is still up in the open, so to speak, is the issue of parental consent or informed consent or state funding for abortions. And I've talked about this before several times. That is still on Gretchen Whitmer's ultimate agenda. Get rid of parental consent. So if the Slackton campaign were to give a campaign talking about, if Mike Rogers becomes senator, or if the Republicans take the House and the Senate in Lansing, we're not going to get parental consent repealed. Well, at least that's a little bit more honest. But for them to argue that the Republican Party in Michigan wants to restrict reproductive rights, That is not true because we can't. We cannot stop it because it is now part of the Michigan Constitution. They're fear-mongering by saying that the Republicans in Lansing would want to strip away or take away reproductive rights. We can't do it. We cannot do it. Now, like I said, the only thing we can protect if the Republicans take the state house, we can protect parental consent, informed consent, our law on prohibiting state funding for abortions. We can protect those from being passed. But from the ones that have already been passed with the Reproductive Health Act from last year, we can't stop it because it's now in part of the Michigan Constitution. They're lying. Fear-mongering is the right word. They're trying to rev up their voter base by scaring the public into thinking that we can turn back the clock. We cannot turn back the clock. The ability to change a constitutional amendment, like Proposal 3, is so difficult and remote and near impossible that it's not a practical reality. It just isn't. So I wish the Harris campaign and the Democrats in Lansing would stop scaring the voters. The Republican Party cannot impose a pro-life policy in Michigan. We can't do it because of Proposal 3. We cannot do it. It's in the Constitution, abortion rights. Kamala Harris, she should not be broadcasting this idea that Donald Trump is going to pass or sign a national abortion ban. He's not going to do it. The bill will not pass Congress. It will not pass Congress. The Democrats will filibuster it to their heart's content to make sure that no pro-life piece of legislation is going to pass because of that filibuster. So, I know I'm kind of ranting a little bit here, and I apologize for that, but Kamala Harris, she is obsessed. Pro-life, Right to Life in Michigan has been using the term she is a abortion-obsessed politician, and that she is to the nth degree. She is obsessed with the issue of abortion, as is most of the Democratic Party, at least at the national level. And her partner, Tim Walz, is just as obsessed as she is. So be warned, be aware of what the Democrats are trying to do, and vote early on October 26th. Go to the polls, march to the polls, as we're now saying, and vote pro-life for your pro-life candidates. With that, I'll let you go, and I'll see you next time.